to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video as John Mara just finished up his press conference talking about the future of the New York Giants organization for both the head coach and the general manager, Dave Gettleman. It was a very telling press conference, and it was basically him. It was like almost like an interview to try to make the New York Giants seem like an attractive destination for a potential coach, as they talked about the reasonings as to why they fired Pat. Mara, to his credit, took a lot of responsibility for the New York Giants' failures over the last few years, as he should. As I've said in a previous video about a month ago, it always starts at the top, and John Mara is as much to blame as anybody, in my opinion, for the lack of success for the New York Giants over the last 6 or 7 years. He was the guy that decided to keep on Jerry Reese and fire Tom Coughlin. And he did the same thing here. He fired the head coach, he kept on the GM, and let's hope and pray that this time he got it right. We'll have to wait and see. There were some rumors that came out. I think it was Schefter came out with a tweet about 3 or 4 hours ago and said that the new head coach for both the Browns and the Giants will have a say on whether or not the GM stays. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth when you hear some of the quotes that Mara had to say today regarding Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman, I've been on record as saying I think he's done a pretty good job with the New York Giants, being that he's been given limited resources. In terms of free agency, he had to basically overhaul a complete roster in 2 years. He's drafted well. With the limited cap space he's been provided, he's not done well in free agency. We'll see how he does this year. But Dave Gettleman overall has done a decent job. What I was worried about, and what I've said for weeks, is will Dave Gettleman affect a potential coaching hire? And Matt Rhule is a very popular choice for New York Giants fans. And Matt Rhule has said numerous times that he doesn't want to go to an organization where they have a structure like the New York Giants currently have. So that is why, unless Matt Rhule is head over heels in love with being the New York Giants head coach, I personally don't expect it to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Matt Rhule comes on. I like Matt Rhule. I think he'd be a good head coach. But I don't see him wanting to come here. And it does not seem like the Giants are willing to adjust at all. Also in this press conference, Mara either lied or bent the truth, however you want to put it. He basically said that Shurmur had equal or near equal say to personnel decisions to Dave Gettleman. And that I just can't get on board with, and I don't agree with it. And it was rebutted by Jay Glazer, and I agree with Jay Glazer. You go back a week or two ago, and Pat Shurmur was complaining about the players on the roster, not throwing them down, but he basically said he was forced to start guys that should be practice squad players in the starting lineup due to the fact that they've completely overhauled the roster. So that was kind of a backhanded jab at Gettleman. Again, I don't think it's Gettleman's fault. I think he had to get rid of a lot of the bad salaries on this team, and they had to start from scratch. But I do not think Shurmur had equal say. He may have had equal say with Daniel Jones, being that I think Daniel Jones fit his system very well, and they had a very good working relationship. In certain scenarios, maybe, but not overall. There were rumors he was involved in the Odell Beckham trade as well. So maybe he had partial say. It's definitely possible, but I don't think he had full say, which is what Matt Rhule and a lot of head coaches that may want to come on here are going to want to have. They're going to want to at least be involved in every potential signing or trade that the New York Giants may take part in. And if the Giants aren't willing to do that, well, don't expect a big-time head coach, and maybe they will. Maybe they did do that with Pat. I just don't see it. I don't think they did. And let's get into the press conference. Let's get into some of the quotes. First, I wanted to show you Jay Glazer's rebuttal. On a coaching front, a lot of damage control out there on the Giants keeping Gettleman. Saying Shurmur had just as much say in personnel there. Absolutely not the case. Never has been with the Giants. GM makes personnel decisions. And like I said, this is kind of trying to, and he's right, it's like damage control. He's trying to make the Giants look as attractive as possible for an incoming head coach. Being that he's going to keep on Dave Gettleman, he's trying to say, listen, we talked to the coach, and he's had a input in every decision we've made. And hopefully that's the case. And it will have to be the case if you want to bring in a Matt Rhule. Then this was a quote off of Matt Lombardo, who works for NJ.com. He's a reporter there. He always drops a lot of good tweets when it comes to these press conferences. He says, I asked John Mara if he risks throwing the power structure out of whack by hiring a coach with Gettleman, knowing his batting average must improve. And earlier in the press conference, what he's referring to by batting average, Mara said his batting average isn't that good when it comes to free agency. Like he's missed on free agents, right? And then Mara, in response to that, said, we are risking that. I believe in Dave Gettleman. So basically what he's saying there, Mara, is we are fully aware of the, the potential negative that could come from keeping on to Dave Gettleman when hiring a head coach. But we believe in Dave Gettleman that much and his ability to draft and his ability to be a general manager for this football team. We're willing to take that risk because we think he is going to be the guy that gets this roster to the promised land. So that's his take there. And then finally, at least the way I interpret it, and then finally Matt Lombardo quotes John Mara here saying, the next head coach won't have any say over whether Dave Gettleman stays or goes. We want someone that will work collaboratively with Dave. And I'm completely fine with that if it's a true collaboration. Obviously, Dave Gettleman's the general manager. He should have some say on who you draft, who you trade, things like that. If it's a true collaboration, if it's a 50-50 input, I have no problem with that. I just don't necessarily believe that was the case with Pat Shurmur. I do think if you want to attract a big-time head coach here, they're going to have say in personnel decision. Dave Gettleman will stay on. So those rumors about him potentially leaving due to health concerns, those are completely false. Gettleman will be the general manager for the foreseeable future for the New York Giants. And John Mara, of course, will be the owner. Let's hope Mara got this decision right. And let's hope they could bring in the right coach. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.